restricts a canal becomes a bottleneck. That's what we're doing here right in front of the station. We're leaving a bottleneck that constricted the water. Then you have to look at how the water flows. Is it being efficiently flowed?
The master drainage plan highlighted that needed to be done. Number one was the debottlenecking, which you can see from here a little further down Dunleaf Drive, so that the conveyance itself was improved to get the water actually here to the pump station. Behind that, even further, you can see the railroad tracks where the jacking bores will be done. Those hopefully next year will get underway. That'll help get the water from the other side of the tracks between the river levee and those tracks to this pump station. And then the lastly would be enlarging the sump, creating 6 additional bays and adding 6 new bar screens so that more flow can get into these massive pumps at once and out of here.
Increasing the efficiency of the system and protecting residents' assets is the goal of this and many other projects. It's a goal St. Charles Parish is committed to achieving.
We're always trying to make investments in our drainage infrastructure because we know that protecting your biggest investment, your home, is the most important thing that we can do. We're going to continue to do that every single day when we come to work.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Charles Parish Council meeting on Monday, August 28th, 2023 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers in the parish courthouse. Please silence all electronic devices and remove all apps. This meeting is called to order with prayer and pledge of allegiance from Pastor Mark Jocelyn of New Vision Baptist Church in St. Louis.
Father God, we thank you because you're such a good God. We thank you, Lord, for the men and women you've chosen to lead this parish. We thank you for the wisdom and the courage that you bestowed upon each one of them, Lord. And I pray, God, that you continue to lead and guide each as they're faced with decisions daily that affect so many lives. We pray, God, your grace upon them as they carry the burden, the heavy load that goes with their leadership. And Lord, we thank you because we know that you have great things in store for this parish and for these leaders. And God, we pray your blessing upon this meeting, and we celebrate those being recognized here tonight with the Eagle Scouts, Lord. Continue to pour out your wisdom and be glorified. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Jocelyn. Okay, we have the approval of minutes. A motion and a second is needed to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of August 14th, 2023. Have a motion by Ms. Fonseca and a second by Mr. Fisher. Please cast your votes. That passes unanimously with Ms. Gordon out this evening. Okay, the next order of business, special business, proclamations, canvass returns, etc. Item number 2023-0220, in recognition, Matthew Zerang, Eagle Scout. Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's my honor as an Eagle Scout to present this to Matthew Zerang. He is a resident of St. Charles Parish, residing in Hahnville, Louisiana, with his mother Quinn and brother Malachi. And whereas Matthew is a member of Troop 370, chartered by St. Anthony of Padua Catholic Church in Luling. He started his scouting career in August of 2012, and Matthew has spent the last 11 years as an active member of the Scouts, spending the last 7 years preparing to become an Eagle Scout. And whereas Matthew has earned his 30 merit badges from the list of 137 badges and completed his Eagle Scout service project by cleaning and restriping the parking lot at St. Anthony of Padua Catholic Church. And whereas Matthew has earned these 30 merit badges by showing leadership ability as Assistant Senior Patrol Leader, and Assistant Patrol Leader. And whereas Matthew rose to the rank of Eagle Scout on March 29, 2023, and received his medal in the ceremony on May 27, 2023, at the St. Anthony of Padua Community Activity Building in Luling. And whereas Matthew is a senior at Hahnville High School and will continue to grow as an Eagle Scout by providing leadership as an Assistant Scoutmaster for Troop 370. Now, therefore, be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby offer this tribute and recognition to Matthew Zerang. Matthew, if you come up, please.
Thank you.
Thanking Council for recognizing me for achieving the Eagle Scout rank. And thank you to my parents and my fellow Scouts for helping me achieve that goal.
Thank you, Mr. Zerang. Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Item number 2023-0221, in recognition, Mason Cole Waits, Eagle Scout. Ms. Fisher-Cormier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In recognition, whereas Mason Cole Waits is a resident of St. Charles Parish, residing in Luling, Louisiana with his parents Mitch and Stephanie and sister Sarah. And whereas Mason is a member of Troop 370, chartered by St. Anthony of Padua Catholic Church in Luling, he started his scouting career August 2011. And whereas Mason has spent the last 12 years as an active member of the Scouts, spending the last 7 years preparing to become an Eagle Scout. And whereas Mason has earned his 44 merit badges from a list of 137 badges and completed his Eagle Scout service project by constructing an outdoor fire pit and benches for Holy Family Catholic Church. Whereas Mason earned these 44 merit badges by showing leadership ability as Assistant Senior Patrol Leader, Assistant Patrol Leader, and Chaplain Aide. And whereas Mason rose to the rank of Eagle Scout on March 29th, 2023, and received his medal in a ceremony on August 5th, 2023, at the St. Anthony of Padua Community Activity Building in Luling. Whereas Mason is a senior at Hahnville High School and will continue to grow as an Eagle Scout by providing leadership as an Assistant Scoutmaster for Troop 370. Now, therefore, be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby offer this tribute and recognition to Mason Cole Watts. Mason, you can come on up. Thank you.
I would like to thank all the council for recognizing me, and I would also like to thank my parents for helping me achieve this.
Thank you, Mr. Watts. Thank you, Ms. Fisher-Cormier. Item number 2023-0222, in recognition, Nathan Elliott Breville, Eagle Scout. Ms. Cluley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Parish of St. Charles, August 28, 2023, in recognition, whereas Nathan Elliott Breville is a resident of St. Charles Parish, residing in Luling, Louisiana, with his parents Brad Breville and Amy Oldrich, brother Daniel Breville, sisters Claire Oldrich and Isabel Breville, and step-parents Greg Oldrich and Jessica Breville. Whereas Nathan is a member of Troop 370, chartered by St. Anthony of Padua Catholic Church in Luling. He started his scouting career August 2011, and whereas Nathan has spent the last 12 years as an active member of the Scouts, spending the last 7 preparing to become an Eagle Scout. And whereas Nathan has earned his 33 merit badges from a list of 137 badges and completed his Eagle Scout service project by constructing dog exercise equipment for the St. Charles Parish Animal Shelter. And whereas Nathan earned these 33 merit badges by showing his leadership ability as Senior Patrol Leader, Instructor, and Bugler. And whereas Nathan rose to the rank of Eagle Scout on May 15, 2023, and received his medal in a ceremony on August 5, 2023, at the St. Anthony of Padua Community Activity Building in Luling. And whereas Nathan is a 2023 graduate of Hahnville High School and will continue to grow as an Eagle Scout by providing leadership as an Assistant Scoutmaster for Troop 370. Now therefore be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby offer this tribute and recognition to Nathan Elliott Breville. Now, please come up.
First, I'd like to thank all the council for recognizing me for making Eagle, and I would also like to thank my parents for helping me get Eagle.
Thank you, Mr. Revelle, and thank you, Ms. Cluley. Item number 2023-0223, in recognition, Major Donald Smith, St. Charles Parish Communications District. Mr. Dufresne.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Parish of St. Charles, August 28, 2023. The St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President deeply appreciate your years of service on the St. Charles Parish Communications District. Major Donald Smith, St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office Representative, December 7, 2020 to August 19, 2023. Major Smith, if you would come up, please.
Good evening. On behalf of myself and the Sheriff, St. Charles Parish, Greg Champon, I'd like to thank the council for this recognition. I'd also like to thank you for your service. Many of the meetings that I had were right up there where you guys are. So thank you for that. If I can give a special thanks to retired Major Sam Zinna and his Administrative Secretary, Amber Walsh. Those two are the glue that hold that board together. So I'd really like to thank them, and they'll continue on without me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, and thank you, Mr. Dufresne. Item number 2023-0224, Proclamation, Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Proclamation. Whereas September is recognized as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, a time when millions of people around the world join their voices to raise awareness of suicide prevention, treatment, and recovery. And whereas suicidal thoughts, much like mental health conditions, can affect anyone regardless of age, gender, or background, suicide is often the result of an untreated mental health condition. And whereas the 2023 theme for this month of awareness and recognition is Creating Hope Through Action, a campaign which encourages people to work with our family, friends, healthcare workers, religious, and political leaders to prevent suicide through active counseling and support. And whereas, after years of advocacy and preparation, 988 is now, 988 is now available nationwide as the new number to contact for mental health, substance abuse, and suicide crisis. A simple, easy-to-remember way for people to get help. This new number will allow people to quickly connect with support during a crisis 24/7, no matter where they live. And whereas, while suicide prevention is important to address year-round, Suicide Prevention Awareness Month provides a dedicated time to come together with collective passion and strength to address a difficult topic. And whereas we can all benefit from honest conversations about mental health conditions and suicide because just one conversation can change a life. Now, therefore, be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby proclaim September 2023 as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in St. Charles Parish and call upon all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, and businesses to coordinate collaborative efforts of community partners in the development and implementation of evidence-based suicide prevention and intervention strategies. And we have Dr. Eric Deshawn here to accept.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the Parish Council and Parish President for this recognition. Suicide and the corresponding depression that goes along with it often goes unnoticed by many folks, including loved ones that would help if they simply knew. And raising awareness in situations such as this is something that's going to help with that stigma, to decrease it so that more people will speak up, and for them to understand that they're not alone, that there are people, there's the community, there's professionals, there's family members that want to help and are here to help. And moments like this, again, helps in that effort to help people who are in the most desperate need. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric. And thank you, Holly. Item number 2023-0225, Proclamation, National Health Center Week. Ms. Fisher-Cormier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Whereas communities across the country will celebrate National Health Center Week 2023 on August 6th through August 12th, elected officials will join in recognizing the work health centers do to keep our communities healthy and safe. Whereas health centers provide preventative and primary care services to over 30 million people and are the first to respond with wraparound care during disasters and health emergencies. Care is driven by services needed in each unique community and lower health care costs by reducing the rate of chronic diseases and stimulating local economies. Whereas community health centers are not just healers, but are innovators who look beyond medical charts to address factors that may cause poor health, such as poverty, homelessness, substance use, mental illness, and unemployment. And whereas the mission of community health centers remain crucial today because access to basic care remains a challenge to over 100 million people across the country. Now, therefore, be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby retroactively proclaim August 6th through August 12th, 2023, as National Health Center Week in St. Charles Parish and call upon the people of St. Charles Parish to support the St. Charles Parish Community Health Center. And tonight, to accept, we have Angela Holloman? Maybe? Or somebody else? Okay, come on up.
On behalf of the Health Center, we would like to thank the council for this recognition.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Ms. Fisher-Cormier. Now we will hear reports, finance and administrative activities. Item number 2023-0226, Department of Legal Services. Mr. Oob.
Thank you, Councilwoman Billings. The St. Charles Legal Department is one of the departments that's specifically enumerated in the Home Rule Charter, Section 3. And as part of the legal department, we have both director, myself, assistant director, Mr. Robert Raymond, but more importantly, our staff. Ms. Dawn Higdon, who's been there for 30 years as our paralegal, Sarah Rainey, who's now served 7 years as our paralegal. We have Madeline Fisher, who's 2 years as a paralegal, and also starting in the past 3 months has been Ashley Musa, who's been a great addition as our legal secretary. Some important news and good news that we're in the process of moving right now. So the legal department, as the council knows, the council purchased and the parish purchased the property across the street from the courthouse, and all renovations are complete. And I want to thank Government Buildings, Mr. Bob Messerly, Mr. Darren Dewey, and everyone else who's involved. Mr. Messerly's staff did an excellent job of making most improvements on their own, which were great. It's going to be a great building. Each paralegal gets their own office. We're going to be able to bring staff in, bring council members in to meet in the council chamber. So I think having the legal department right across from the courthouse is going to be a huge asset for not only the council members, but also for the administration. Part of our duties are to oversee legal functions with all departments. Primarily, we work a lot with Public Works, Rec Department, Government Buildings on their bid process and contract documents. One thing that the administration has been working on with our IT department, Mr. Ayo, has been to implement a DocuSign management and document management system. Although it's still in the process of being finalized, it's going to be a great addition for the next term for the administration and for the council. What this system is going to do is basically incorporate all of our documents into form-type documents where the departments will just have to input the necessary information without having to make changes repeatedly. What I think is going to be the more important factor is the document retention program, where we're going to be able to get alerts on when contracts are expiring. Right now, that's really been in the head of Mr. Billy Raymond, who's been a great asset to the parish, but to have a tickler system that's going to incorporate alerting us in a timely manner when our contracts are expiring is going to be a great asset. Other than working with those departments on their contracts and employee oversight, such as drug testing with risk management, and also just the day-to-day operations of those departments,
We work primarily with planning and zoning, and that has been a huge hurdle since Hurricane Ida. And just to kind of give you some stats on how much the kicking has been happening in 2023. In 2022 with planning and zoning, the number of new files were 87, let me get those exact numbers to make sure, I'm sorry, 58 new files in 2022. In 2023, there's been 176 new files to legal. So what you see is the administration taking an active role in implementing the rules now that people are almost 2 years post-Ida, getting things back to normal, which I think is a great thing for the parish. It is a tough load on our paralegals and our staff. In 2003 alone, the difference in 2022, we closed 9 files, which closing a file for us is going through the full legal process, getting the judgment enforced. This year alone, we've closed 33 files. So we're probably on a good record pace now, trying to close a good number per month, which I think is helping planning and zoning get a grip on what's been going on since Hurricane Ida. Hopefully, we've been a great asset to work with planning and zoning. Other than that, the legal department also works a lot day-to-day with risk management. I can't thank Rochelle enough on the safety that she's done for implementing safety measures for the parish, which legal and, of course, Dana, Parker, and HR have done a great job of trying to make sure that our employees recognize, and I think it's been a rebranding. I think in the past, the administrations have looked upon risk management as being a punishment type factor. This administration took a huge role in rebranding with Rochelle that the goal is safety, to get the workers home safe for their families, that we're not working against the employees but working with them. The best thing to have is when they come home to their families every night in a safe manner. So I do want to thank Rochelle personally for handling that on a day-to-day basis, and she gives her own presentation to the council so she can speak to the ins and outs of those matters. At this time, again, I want to just thank the council for purchasing the property across the street. It's going to be a huge asset for us. It's going to make us hands-on rather than running around across the parish to the different departments. I wish I could speak in detail about each individual case we have, but as you know, we can't do that at this time. But if any council members ever have a question about any case, I know council members do it routinely. We do strive to make sure that we update you on cases that are within your district. So don't hesitate to call us if you have a specific question about a case, and we'll be glad to update you on those measures. Are there any questions I'd like to answer them at this time? Thank you.
Oh, no. Wait, hold on. Mr. Jewell.
Thank you, Chairwoman, and thank you, Corey, for your presentation. I just want to make a point of clarification just for anybody at home watching or anybody in the audience that the majority of our planning and zoning cases do not make it to the legal department. And so you have many more cases. I mean, if you hear what Corey just says, it doesn't sound like too many cases, but we have many more cases that open and close just within the planning and zoning department. I know we can speak to that, and Michael's not here tonight, but many of those cases don't actually hit the legal department, so a lot more cases have been closed just with interactions between residents and planning and zoning.
Thank you, Mr. Jewell. Ms. Fisher-Cormier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let me just say thank you. The direction of the legal department over my time here has always helped through parliamentary procedure, and I appreciate you guys always being there for us during council meetings, and then all else that you do too. I did reach out to you some time ago about an opinion on maybe different avenues for public participation. Of course, not looking for an answer tonight, just kind of wanted to ping you on it. You know, COVID showed us that there may be some other avenues for public participation, not that we want all of them, not that we want any of them necessarily, but I do know some other local bodies and state bodies have implemented some new procedures since COVID. Just curious of, you know, what the law says we can do and what are within the parameters of the law. Again, you don't have to answer tonight. You're clearly busy. But just, you know, some council business that maybe you can move up on the list.
Quick question. I mean, right now we do, of course, abide by our open public meetings laws.
Oh, yeah.
Having additional technology is always a benefit. If the council wants to implement additional technology, we'll be free to do so within the parameters of the law. I think right now having the different avenues of television, Facebook do help.
Oh, absolutely.
But as far as having an interactive availability for residents who are at home to interact during a council meeting is something that's kind of new to the technology.
Sure, and it's even a little more specific than that, the info that I sent you.
Yes,
away. So, yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oob.
Thank you.
Item number 2023-0227, Grants Office. Ms. Chasson.
This is new. I was looking for the computer. So good evening. How are you today? I'm here. I'm Carla Chasson. I'm the St. Charles Parish Grants Officer, and this is our annual presentation. So our mission for the Grants Office is to manage any funding that comes to the parish and to actively pursue any competitive grant opportunities. I'm staffed with 5 employees, that includes myself. We did add a new employee last year, Ms. Blaze Kinney. So looking back into 2022, I'd like to give you big pictures. Last year, I think I presented in the beginning of the year. So in 2022, we were awarded $26.6 million in grant funds. You'll see a lot of that went to the came from the FEMA Public Assistance Program. And that's from a lot of different disasters. We worked on Hurricane Ida, Hurricane Zeta, Hurricane Delta, Tropical Storm Cristobal, COVID, and Hurricane Sally. We did get some competitive funds in, and the big projects that came in for that money is the Desalmans boat launch, the Desalmans bulkhead, and the East Bank Sea Plant filter upgrade. And we got a lot of money that came in from the state, projects that is included in that $7.5 million is the recreation projects, including like the splash park, the 2 bridge park revitalization projects, and we received a lot of money for some resiliency projects in the wastewater department. In 2023 so far, we are up to $32 million, and that's, I think, a record year for us. Last year was a record, and this year we're breaking it. And I think that we're going to go even higher than that. There's about $13.9 million in upcoming awards that I think we'll get by the end of the year. So that's $46 million, not including Hurricane Ida. So to give you an idea of the projects that are represented by this, for the competitive funds, we had earlier this year, I came before you with the funding agreements for the CN Railroad culverts. That's $6 million. We had $5 million come through for some elevation projects. In allocated funding, that's some disaster recovery funding that we got. And then also we worked really hard with CPRA to get $10 million to the Muntz pump station. And then tonight, later on, I'll be before you with a $6 million funding agreement for the Crawford Canal Sunset Pump Station bar screen expansion project. So this is the life cycle of a grant. This is how we plot all of our projects in my office. And in total, we have about $223 million in funds. That's for 262 projects. I was kind of astonished by that number when we put it all together. And I looked back historically last year, it was about $150 million. And the previous year, it was about 77 or 78 million. So we have really increased how much money we're working on following COVID and Hurricane Ida. That's a disaster recovery is represented in that. So right now, let's see. For proposal preparation, the most of that is Hurricane Ida. We're still working with FEMA on getting a lot of our projects approved through their process. For applications that we have submitted, we're waiting to find out the fate of about $74 million. These applications include a lot of drainage improvement projects, elevation projects, a generator upgrade, an employee safe room, some low-income housing preservation projects. And of that $74 million, I'm pretty confident that we're going to get $43 million in. So we have $13.4 million we're working on processing the awards for. Of course, $6 million of that is that Crawford Canal Sunset Pump Station project. And there's also some disaster recovery funding and some allocated funds coming from the state that I'll be bringing before you at a later council meeting in about a month or so. Some grant projects that we are going to be starting up and that we've received the funds for as the CN Railroad culvert. We have those residential elevations. The bulkhead in Des Allemands is about to go out to bid, and the boat launch in Des Allemands is also going to be starting up soon. And for the award management projects, we have $52 million for 77 ongoing projects. The biggest portion of this number is disaster recovery funds, those ones that I mentioned earlier with COVID, Ida, and all the 2020 events. Residential elevation, we have a lot of those, and I'll talk about that more on the next slide, as well as the two major transportation infrastructure improvement projects, the one on Paul Mallard and the one on Lakewood. So, in addition to the millions of dollars that we juggle for the parish, we also manage the elevations program. So the first box that I have here are the grants that the parish has secured, and we have 3 open grants. That's for the elevation of about 72 properties. We have 20 of them that have been completed. A few are currently under construction, and we're about to kick off the 30 on the line at the bottom. We received that award. We're waiting on that agreement to come back from the state, and then we'll move forward with those homeowners. We also have 3 applications under review, and the first one is the FMA Swift Current. I've been told that we are getting that, and we're waiting any day for that sub-grantee agreement to come in, and I'll be before you for that. And then today, actually, FEMA announced that the fiscal year 22 FMA project was selected for further review for 23 of the 25 properties. So we have probably, I think we counted 99 projects that are going to be moving, that have elevation funds available and will be moving forward. So I wanted to give you a big picture of what's going on with the Hurricane Ida disaster recovery funding. So I'll go through each program. The biggest one we work with, of course, is FEMA Public Assistance. The estimated funding from FEMA is going to be about $52 million. That's covering our debris removal, emergency protective measures to respond to the event, and then any permanent repairs that's not covered by insurance. With those are in various, we have a number of projects with FEMA, so those are in various stages. We have hazard mitigation grant program funds that's allocated following a disaster. And we've been allocated about $16 million, and we have that Diane Place pump station upgrades, the safe room, the generator project, an elevation project, and the Ormond Oaks channel improvements. And I'm looking at a couple other projects that I think we can apply for and over-submit and hopefully get some more money from this program. We have the state of Louisiana allocated some money to a Hurricane Ida recovery fund for match funding for our FEMA PA projects. There's about $2.7 million that we have to match to that $52 million, so they're helping us cover $1 million of that. And then the Restore Louisiana program has CDBG disaster recovery funds. They also have a non-federal match program that's going to give us about $1 million. So hopefully that'll help cover our cost share. And so there's 2 other programs on here. The Hometown Revitalization Program and the Resilient Communities Infrastructure Program. I'm estimating that we're going to get about $11 million from these 2 programs combined, but we don't have a project selected yet. This program is a little bit different than normal grants where we submit an application for a certain project. This one, they say, here's this much money, and we have to go through a process of citizen participation, which is getting ideas and views of what people feel are recovery projects in their areas and towns. So I wanted to go over that at this meeting, and today opens up our public comment period. You can use the QR code to submit to go to a survey to submit some comments and maybe give your opinion on some priorities for the parish funding of where we feel this should go to. And we also have a public meeting scheduled for September 20th at 5:30 in this council chambers. So anybody who would like to attend can come, and we're going to talk more about the programs and what's eligible, what's not eligible, and we're going to open it up for people to come and speak and give their opinions on their projects and propose any recovery projects that they would like to have for consideration.
Following this meeting, we have to put together a recovery proposal that will come before you for adoption, and then from there, we will choose what projects will be eligible, or what projects will move forward with applications for under this program. So that concludes my report. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you, Ms. Chasson, and I commend you for your getting in on just under the timer there. Are there any questions from the council? All right, thank you, Ms. Chasson. Okay, item number 2023-0228, Parish President's Remarks and Report. President Jewell.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Council members, I'd like to start really quickly in my report. I think it's going to come up here in a sec. All right, just some quick drainage work going on. We have some folks out on River Park Drive in the backside of, there's a small servitude, like a 5-foot servitude on the back part of River Park Drive. We have our folks out there reswaling that ditch. And I believe this ditch actually runs between two houses. We recently did some work too to get some water underneath the road, what we're calling an equalizer pipe to kind of equalize water on both sides of River Park. Going over to West B Street, we have box culverts going in. Public Works crews have recently formed and poured these new box culverts on West B. I know Councilman Fisher is keenly aware of this project, and this has been an ongoing project for a few months now, where we've taken out 18 and 20-inch culvert or 24-inch culverts. Some were even smaller than that, and replaced them with 30-inch arch culverts. These were all previously subsurfaced, and so this is just an upsizing of the existing culverts that run down West B. Looking at road repairs, we have $1.1 million in road repairs underway. Road crews will be working on pothole repairs and tree trimming work orders over the next few weeks. So that will be going on. I know that's been a request of some of our council members. So our crews will be switching over to that. And additionally, on road repairs, we will have another batch of roads coming a little bit later. I think, Miles, next month?
Should be, yeah, early in September.
Okay, early September, after Barrier finishes this first batch of roads. Switching over to the C filter upgrade project. This upgrade is important. Is an important project because it is a complete refurbishment and upgrade that impacts 40% of the East Bank's production capacity. I don't think this is the first time we're doing a full rebuild of this filter, but proper maintenance and planned upgrades for production capacity is a key part of a healthy water system. And I'll also mention that I believe we got $900,000 for this project through the state water sector program. So making sure that our water system is always in tip-top shape and that we're always providing the best possible product to our residents. And additionally, this was just completed on the West Bank of St. Charles Parish as well. And council members are going to get a tour and attend a ribbon cutting of this pretty soon. Over to Monsanto Park. You probably have seen some orange tape around the Ellington Oaks, and our recreation department is trimming those trees. They hired an arborist to make sure that it was done correctly. We'll also be aerating the soil around these trees and adding amendments to the soil and nutrients for these trees so that they can remain healthy. In the future, we are going to plan every 2 years or so to have some routine maintenance done on these trees to make sure that they stay healthy. And then you can see that we removed the old rotten wooden fence that was surrounding the park and went back with a nice black coated chain link fence to make sure our park stays safe for our patrons. Going over to fall sports. Fall sports are well underway with more than 600 different games going on, and that's 1,400 athletes that are participating in those 600 different games this fall season between flag football, volleyball, adult softball, cabbage ball, cheerleading, fall baseball, and tackle football. Basketball registration is going to open on September 1st and is going to run through the 25th. Last year, we had more than 900 players participate in basketball, so we are looking forward to another successful season. Want to really quickly talk about the statewide burn ban. The burn ban remains in effect and was recently amended to ban even agricultural burns. So just for everybody's awareness, even our ordinances under burn bans allow for certain types of burning, agricultural burnings particularly. If you think about cane fields and when you have to burn a cane field, conditions are so bad now that the state has now banned those prescribed burnings as well. While we've had some rain, we're still in a very serious drought, and I'm just going to ask that all residents remain vigilant and do not burn anything and do not put our fire department assets on the street unnecessarily. Even a small, seemingly innocent thing like flicking a cigarette butt out of the window, which you should never do in the first place, or sitting in a running car on top of tall grass, or even a small trash fire can lead to a significant amount of area burned. So we want to make sure that we keep all of our property and residents safe and adhere to the burn ban. All right, we are coming up on the anniversary of Hurricane Ida. This is the eve of the second year of Hurricane Ida. There's a lot of things still going on across St. Charles Parish. As you know, our baseball fields that were severely damaged at the West Bank Bridge Park are now under repair to be improved. Today, the Lancelot Apartments were being torn down, the start of it at least. That contractor is going to move to Keller Street Apartments after, and then they're going to go across the river to St. Rose, where we believe we have Steamboat and one other apartment complex that is vacant right now that are all going to be torn down. We have work being done on Highway 90, and I can't tell you how much storm debris we are pulling out of that area. Awnings from gas stations, tires, barrels, things that really shouldn't be in there. We've put in significant redundancy at our sewer lift stations. You can see a picture there at the bottom of generators going in. We know how big of an issue it was when we had that large parish-wide power outage after Hurricane Ida, and how much that really hindered not only the sewer system, but our employees had to work around the clock just to keep that sewer system operating to prevent any type of environmental issues that come from those lift stations not working. So that is underway. The second floor of the courtrooms are close to being completed. We all know that that was a big deal. We were able to move our entire judicial system down the street and get it back open within 30 days after Hurricane Ida, a huge feat that would not have been possible if not for the cooperation of the sheriff's office and the district attorney and the judges and parish government all working together to get that done. That allowed us to do this courtroom project in one phase instead of three phases, taking significantly longer and having more disruption than doing it in the one phase, which we did. There's so much work going on around the parish. Marnie, you know this, that a lot of people for some reason have just gotten their insurance money. We see a lot of permits coming through for people rebuilding their homes finally right now on the eve of the second year of Hurricane Ida. But if you go around the parish, you still see those scars. You still see people who are not in their homes. You still see people who may have a mobile home in front of their house. We're going to continue to work with those folks every single day to make sure that they get back on their feet and that they stay in St. Charles Parish. And for all the folks who have decided to rebuild in St. Charles Parish, I want to tell you that we appreciate your resilience and we appreciate your confidence in this council, in this administration, in rebuilding here. And then finally, I want to thank the employees, because during the initial preparations, during the immediate aftermath, until this day, they have not stopped working on Hurricane Ida-related issues. So thank you to our employees for their dedication, their work. We're going to continue to do it until the job's done, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, President Jewell. Ms. Cluley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to thank you for the upgrades that you made at Monsanto Park. I think they are sorely needed, and it'll help provide some longevity to those oak trees, and the fencing looks really, really nice, so appreciate that. Thanks.
Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Matt, I just wanted to cover a couple of things. The West B box culverts, we know they were grossly undersized. That was a 500 block. We know that 500 block of Marino, Giacomo, Clayton, West B, we've got some issues there, so appreciate getting that done for that West B corridor. The guys have been working hard out there. I know we had a few glitches with it, and I think risk management's gone out there and talking to a few of the residents. I appreciate that, Corey. Keep focused on the projects. These guys worked their butts off. They worked their butts off for the hurricane. I hope that we can continue to keep hiring people, because I know we get those work requests every day, and I see those yellow squares on it. So if we can fill those guys, we can find people to work, I know we can get the projects done. As somebody who just moved back in this house, I appreciate that fact. Insurance company has been a booger to deal with. And like I said, the residents, I mean, we still got residents in trailers, so we may have to take a look at that. So we're going to have to be a little flexible on that. But again, I appreciate the extra effort, following the projects with the master drainage plan. Some of the things that we can fix, if we continue to do that. So again, thank you.
Thanks, Councilman. I just want to say we appreciate the patience of all of our residents on West B. That was a serious project, and those guys have done a tremendous job.
Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Matt, I'd just like to thank you for the work that I know that you did personally to, get that owner to go ahead and demolish not just Lancelot, but all the other 4 apartment properties that he owns. That was the outcome that we could only hope for, rather than the parish spend taxpayer money to tear those properties, demolish the buildings on those properties. So great effort by you and your administration. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to take a second there just to thank Corey Oob and Planning and Zoning, Mike Palamone. It took several months of working together. And I just want to say publicly, too, that the property owners have been working with us every step of the way to find all the available avenues to try to get those things torn down. A lot of people don't realize those apartment complexes that I named were all built with USDA grants. And so not only was FEMA involved, their insurance company, but the USDA was involved too. So it was really a Herculean effort, and I'm glad we were able to get it across the finish line.
Thank you, Mr. Jewell. Okay, now we will hear ordinances, resolutions introduced for publication and public hearing. Monday, September 11th, 2023, 6 p.m., Council Chambers, Courthouse, Hahnville. Item number 2023-0229 and item number 2023-0234. Moving on to planning and zoning petitions. Item number 2023-0214. An ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish zoning ordinance of 1981 to change the zoning classification from C1 to R1A on lots 1-A and a portion of 2-A as shown on the survey by R.P. Bernard, PLS, dated March 19th, 1996. 138 and 164 Schexnayder Lane, Hahnville, as requested by Parish President Matthew Jewell at the recommendation of Planning and Zoning. Mr. Albert's not here.
Thank you, Chairwoman Billings. This is an ordinance that's before you to correct the parish's zoning map near Schexnayder Lane in Hahnville. It's to reduce the amount of land that since 1984 has been shown as C1 when it should be shown as R1A. R1A is single-family residential. C1 is commercial for offices. It's a very limited commercial zone. The change is best shown on page 32 and 33 of your agenda. The department recommended approval of it. The Planning Commission unanimously agreed that it should be changed because it meets all of the criteria for rezoning. So we ask for your support.
Thank you, Ms. Stein. File number 2023-0214 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Is there any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2023-0214. And that passes unanimously. Item number 2023-0215, an ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish zoning ordinance of 1981 to change the zoning classification from R1A to C-2 on lots 28, 29, and portions of 30, 31, 32, and 33, Square 4, Good Hope Annex, as shown on the survey by Stephen P. Flynn, PLS, dated August 11th, 2022, 191, 195, and 199 Good Hope Street, Norco, as requested by Malcolm Darensborg for MAD, the Third LLC. Ms. Stein.
Thank you, Chairwoman Billings. This is actually a request to expand an existing C2 zone. It's shown on page 44 of your agenda. You'll be able to see that there are 2 lots that the property owner is requesting be changed from single-family residential to commercial. And if you look closely, you'll see that there's also a sliver of land on 4 different lots in that developed portion of the property. So it sounds like an awful lot of property that's up for rezone, but the request is really just to expand the existing C2 zone about 1/4 of an acre to pick up a little bit more property. The request meets all 3 criteria for rezoning, so the department recommended approval, and the Planning Commission unanimously agreed with 1 member absent.
Thank you, Ms. Stein. File number 2023-0215 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Is there any council discussion? Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Marty, so I was reading the notes, and I've had contact with a few people. The owner plans to use these 2 lots as a parking lot as he redevelops the old library building?
Yes, the owner submitted a site plan that's shown on page 43 of your agenda.
Okay. Now, he's going to have to go through further permitting processes, right? If we approve this tonight?
Right. Approving the rezoning wouldn't permit any development that wouldn't require permitting through the office, and the requirement that it meet all the site design standards.
All right, Mike, thank you. Appreciate it.
Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Marnie, I spoke with Michael Albert this morning, and these 2 properties are small, as you indicated, and currently, as individual properties, there's very little that can be done with them other than residential. If combined through a process that could happen after this, it can be used as the owner has indicated he wants to use it as a parking lot. But I was informed if he would choose to perhaps another use, maybe, I guess small retail operation or something like that, that could be done. But there's absolutely, and you can confirm this, it cannot be used for storage of vehicles or heavy equipment or anything like that. There's prohibition against that automatically. Is that correct?
That's correct. The C2 zoning district does not permit outdoor storage.
Okay. And so the owner could choose to combine both the slivers of property or combine the current property that he owns closer on the riverside with those 2 slivers, correct?
Right. The property owner isn't committed to, or the law doesn't commit the property owner to the site plan that's on page 43, but we have every reason to believe that those are his plans.
Right. And as you mentioned to Councilman Fisher, any use would require the owner to come back through planning and zoning for a permitting process.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Fisher-Cormier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to clarify. Ms. Fonseca just said any use would require them to come back to planning and zoning. C2 has a whole host of things that are allowed without a special permit use, right?
That's right. They're permitted without a special permit use, but just a change in the occupancy of the building would require the property owner to come in or the tenant to come in and to
Okay.
be
So the
permitted.
occupancy change paired with anything outside of number 1A through 1B. So any of those things.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. That's enough safety, I think, for the residents.
Thank you, Ms. Stein. File number 2023-0215 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You will have 3 minutes. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Any council discussion? We already had that, didn't we?
Yep.
I'm repeating myself, sorry. Please cast your votes for file number 2023-0215. And that passes unanimously. Okay, we're going to move on to ordinances scheduled for public hearing introduced at a previous meeting. Item number 2023-0212, an ordinance approving and authorizing the parish president to execute a lease agreement with DJV LLC for River Parish's Workforce Development Board office in St. Charles Parish. Mr. Palamone.
Yeah, this is a renewal of our current office lease. It'll take effect on October 1 through April 4th of 24, 6 months. The rent stays the same, $1,500 a month, and we'll have an option for 6 more months at the conclusion of April 1, 24. And we ask for your support.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Palamone. File number 2023-0212 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Is there any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2023-0212. That passes unanimously. Item number 2023-0216, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Alpha Testing and Inspection, Inc. to perform testing services for road maintenance 2022 through 2023, project number P220501, in the not-to-exceed amount of $40,000. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Council Chair. This is one of our standard agreements for testing services. This one's for the asphalt maintenance program. We appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Miles. File number 2023-0216 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Is there any council discussion? Mr. Dufresne.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Miles, is this for cutting cores and making sure the mix design is correct at the asphalt plant?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Is there any additional discussion? All right, please cast your votes for 2023-0216. That passes unanimously. Item number 2023-0218, an ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 8, Elections, Section 8-2, Visible Voting Precinct Boundaries and Polling Places to merge voting precincts. Mr. Manning. Hello.
Yes. Good evening, Joshua Manning, South Central Planning. What this ordinance does is it's cleaning up the redistricting ordinance. We had gotten our precinct mergers pre-approved by the Secretary of State, but both they, myself, and Mr. Champagne, we just missed that there was a a representative district going through one of those precinct mergers. So this basically reverts those mergers back to what they were previously.
Okay, can you tell us which precinct and which council and its
Yeah.
representative district?
I want to say, I don't know the precinct numbers offhand, but it's the area in, I believe, it's between District 7 and District 4. Okay, yeah. I actually had forgot about that one. That was one that Brian also did ask me to clean up. Yeah, there was a couple of streets between District 7 and District 4. The one I was thinking of is between District 7 and District 2. And it's behind off of Paul Mallard Road. I forget the street name, but it's in kind of the back of that neighborhood. Is that?
Blueberry Hill.
Yep, that's it.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Manning. File number 2023-0218 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Is there any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2023-0218. And that passes unanimously. Item number 2023-0219, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Murray Architects, Inc. to perform architectural, conceptual design, and construction management, etc., for the St. Charles Parish Courthouse first floor renovation, project number GBCH023, for a period of 12 months in the not-to-exceed amount of $217,685. Mr. Messerly.
Good evening, Council, Parish President. This is the last of the building for the courthouse. Once we finish this, all the AC is up to par. Everything's where it needs to be. Clerk of Courts has not been touched since this building was built, so that's the last of the deal. Once we finish this, this building is pretty much ready to go for another 25 years.
All right.
I appreciate your quality to this.
Thank you. File number 2023-0219 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Is there any council discussion? Ms. Cluley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Messerly.
Yes, ma'am.
How much, is this only going to be for the clerk of court? Is there any more of the assessor's office or any of the?
The clerk of courts and the sheriff's side of the office. That's the last of the AC
Tax
ductwork
office?
that's down there, the tax office, yes.
So
to
this
finish
is just
that,
AC work mainly?
no,
No.
it's a complete renovation. The outside right here, all the sheet rock work and stuff is coming out so that we can get to the piping for the units I got up top. Finish all that out, close everything in with drop ceilings so we can reach everything. So it's going to be pretty much the second floor right here in front and downstairs in clerk of courts and over to the sheriff's side.
So part of the second floor is going to be in this phase?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Bob, we discovered anything? I mean, I know it's an old building. I know we found a lot of things, but is there some things that we could add to this that we could get fixed that we're not coming back and? No.
Everything I'm doing is abating. It's everything. I'm making sure that black on all that stuff is out of the way. Anything that's outdated, we're getting it out of the way. All the wiring, everything I can, so that we're not chasing down all the old stuff. We're trying to get everything
No
updated.
beams or something that's going to mysteriously have to pop up?
No, and this one, we're sitting down with everybody on this one and making sure.
All right, just wanted to make sure. So, like I said, if we got to give you some more money, we
I
can
don't
give
want
you
to
some
go
more
through that
money.
again either. I promise you that.
All right, no surprises, all right?
This is all T's crossed and I's dotted.
Thank you, Bob.
Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Bob, refurbishing the elevator is included in this, right?
Not in this, no.
Okay, when are
It
we
will
going to
be
do that?
It's in my budget for next year, though.
Okay, it's a
Yes.
separate project?
Yes, it is.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay. Please cast your votes for file number 2023-0219. That passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Messerly. Okay, resolutions. Item number 2023-0230, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement between the State of Louisiana through the Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority Board and St. Charles Parish government regarding the construction of the Crawford Canal Sunset Pump Station Bar Screen Expansion, BA 0270 project in Des Allemands. Ms. Chasson.
Yes, so in my presentation, I mentioned the $6 million from CPRA. This is the funding agreement that I have before you tonight. It requires council approval for us to enter into that agreement. And I just want to say I'm the lucky soul that gets to come before you with these things, but I want to give kudos to the administration and also to Mr. Sam Scholl. He works very hard with CPRA and going to their meetings and making sure that our projects stay in front of them. So we can get this funding and get some good projects done in the parish.
Thank you, Ms. Chasson. File number 2023-0230 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this, please do so now. Seeing none, public comment is now closed. Is there any council discussion? Mr. Dufresne.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Carla, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Administration, thanks, because we need this. These are the last of the Mohegans. They're cleaning the bar screens with a long reach, which makes one guy have to stay there all the time during a rain event. Yeah.
Mr. Sam's ready to go. So,
Yeah.
so we're hoping to get this one out, I think, before the end of the year.
Thank you.
October.
There we go.
Is there any council discussion? Any additional council discussion? No. Please cast your votes for file number 2023-0230. That passes unanimously. Item number 2023-0232, a resolution approving and authorizing the parish president to submit an application to the Delta Regional Authority Community Infrastructure Fund for the Murray Hill Drive and Destrehan Drive Drainage Improvement Project. Ms. Chasson.
Yes. So we are working on an application to the Delta Regional Authority for the Murray Hill Destrehan Drive Culvert Improvement Project. It's a drainage improvement is the formal title, but it's to install subsurface culverts in that area. And we're going to request $1.5 million, and I think the cost estimate is about $3 million. So hopefully they can match our dollars, and we can get that project done soon.
Thank you, Carla. File number 2023-0232 is open for public comment. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Is there any council discussion? Mr. Jewell.
I just wanted to remind the council that this is the project that you all approved to add subsurface drainage to Murray Hill and Destrehan Drive. As you know, Murray Hill and Destrehan Drive's drainage is the road. So this will, from Eve Street to the railroad tracks, add the subsurface drainage that should be in on that street, taking water that is normally on the street and bringing it underground, which I think will be a big improvement for those residents. It's an area where residents have flooded, and this project is ready to go.
Thank you, President Jewell. Is there any additional council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2023-0232. That passes unanimously. Item number 2023-0233, a resolution authorizing the St. Charles Parish President to send certification to GOSEP, waiving any land use regulations relative to permitting for temporary housing and shelter assistance during declared emergencies. President Jewell.
Thank you. Jason Tasse was supposed to be here tonight to present this for you all. But he has actually been called by GOSEF to go and help handle the wildfires in southwest Louisiana. So just keep Jason in your thoughts, because he's going to be helping coordinate the emergency response going on over there. Some of the folks in those parishes don't have the same level of expertise and I guess really the relationships with GOSEP that we've had over here in Southeast Louisiana. So he's going to be a big help to those folks. So just keep him in your thoughts. So the Louisiana legislature passed HB 1070, Act 526 on June 16th, 2022. A portion of this bill requires GOSEP to provide temporary housing and shelter assistance to parishes in the aftermath of a presidentially declared disaster. The bill also requires parishes to opt in or opt out of this state housing shelter program. And for us to be eligible to receive the expedited housing, the parish must waive any land use requirements that pertain to this activity. To simply put, if we want to have travel trailers brought into the parish quickly following a disaster, we must allow them to come in and quickly place them without going through the formal permitting, planning and zoning permitting process. I also want to emphasize that this is limited to private residences, that a travel trailer will fit in adjacent to a home on the same property. And I also want to make clear that this is not for group sites or rental properties. This is only if a person can fit a travel trailer on their own property. Other residents in different living situations will be provided for the traditional methods. This bill requires that we respond opting in or out by September 1st of each year. The parish council did do one last year as well. Just to give you all an update on trailers, we have about 150 state trailers left in the parish. That's according to their numbers that were sent actually today. I think Michael did a quick inventory. We have about 30 trailers throughout the parish that are privately owned, that are still set up in a situation where a resident is living in them. So about 180 total, and that is pretty much in line with a lot of the other parishes that were similarly devastated as we were. And so, we're going to continue to work with folks. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of folks are still getting that money in from insurance, and we are starting to pay folks who haven't had any movement, who may not have any permit to do any remodeling or renovations to their home, and we'll be continuing to stay on top of those folks to get all of them back into compliance with parish ordinances.
Thank you, Mr. Jewell. File number 2023-0233 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Seeing none, public comment is now closed. Is there any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2023-0233. That passes unanimously. Appointments. Item number 2023-0191, a resolution appointing a member of the St. Charles Parish Communications District representing the St. Charles Parish Council. Council will confirm nominations to the St. Charles Parish Communications District representing the St. Charles Parish Council to fill the vacancy caused by the resignation of the term of Mr. Kenny Winning, Jr., unexpired term to begin immediately and expire August 19th, 2026. It's been deferred from a July 31, 2023 Parish Council meeting. The nominee is Mr. Michael D. Heath. Please cast your votes to confirm the appointment of Mr. Michael D. Heath to the St. Charles Parish Communications District representing St. Charles Parish Council. And that passes unanimously. Congratulations, Mr. Heath. Item number 2023-0192, a resolution appointing a member to the Industrial Development Board. Council will confirm nomination to the Industrial Development Board to fill the vacancy created by the expiration of the term of Mr. Timothy J. Vial, a 6-year term to begin October 1st, 2023, and expire October 1st, 2029. During the August 14th, 2023 council meeting, the following nominations were made in the following order. Mr. Timothy J. Vial, first nomination. Mrs. Jahilda L. Lewis Crawford, second nomination. The following nominations we voted upon by the entire council represent the order in which the nominations were made on August 14th, 2023. If the first nomination receives a majority of the vote of the members present, the first nomination will be confirmed to the Industrial Development Board. If the vote for the first nomination fails, the vote will be taken on the second nomination. So please cast your votes to confirm the appointment of Mr. Timothy J. Vial to the Industrial Development Board. What's that? There's none. And that passes with Ms. Belloc, nay. Item number 2023-0193, resolution appointing the member of the Industrial Development Board. Council will confirm the nomination of the Industrial Development Board to fill the vacancy created on the unexpired term of Mr. Billy Raymond, a 6-year term to begin October 1st, 2023, and expire October 1st, 2029. The nominee is Mr. Billy Raymond. Please cast your vote to confirm the appointment of Mr. Billy Raymond to the Industrial Development Board. And that passes with Ms. Belloc voting nay. Meetings, announcements, notices, etc. Meetings, Housing Authority, Tuesday, August 29th, 2023, 6 p.m., Council Chambers. Hospital Service District Number 1, Wednesday, August 30th, 2023, 2 p.m., Council Chambers. Lafourche Basin Levy District, Wednesday, September 6th, 2023, 6 p.m., Lafourche Basin Levy District Office, 21380 Highway 20, Vacherie. Planning and Zoning Commission, Thursday, September 7th, 2023, 6 p.m., Council Chambers. Communications District 911, Monday, 9/11/2023. 2023, 5 p.m., 911 Center, 222 Joe Louis Lane, Hahnville. Ms. Belloc would like to speak.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. I ask that we all think about this. This is not about Mr. Timmy Vial, because I like him as well. But I want you guys to know that when we don't change, when we stay stagnant, when we stay stuck and not moving forward, it's like we're on the same merry-go-round year after year after year. We, the council, have term limits. We only can serve 2 limits except for special. And our boards, our parish president only gets 2 terms. So our board members, the people who we put on these boards, should not get more than 12 years. They should have term limits. When the person that we put on the board, we're terming out, they're still sitting on the board. The next council comes in and puts the same person back on the board. So that means new people that lives in the parish of St. Charles gets no opportunities. They get, they're not able to express themselves, to use their strategies or innovative ideas, because if we're supposed to be the parish of plenty and we're growing, we need to put new people on these boards rather than the same people over and over and over again. I believe that our parish deserves to grow. Our parish president, Matt, came in, young man, new ideas, He came in ready to work, progressive thinker, but he was voted in. Well, the people we put on boards, we vote them in. The council votes them in. Well, once we vote these people in, they should not sit there longer than we sit here. It's that simple, because we have young people out here that are thinking, that are innovative. They're ready to work for our parish, but we shut them down. So there are opportunities. Listen to this. Opportunities are like doors in the hallway of life. It's up to us to turn the knob, to step through and to discover the limitless possibilities that lie on the other side. But if we, the parish council, lock that door, nobody gets an opportunity. Nobody gets a chance. And at some point, the new ideas stop, because we have that same person still sitting there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Belloc. All right, continuing the meetings, announcements, and notices. St. Charles Parish Council, Monday, 9/11/2023, 6 p.m., council chambers. Announcements. Parish holiday, Monday, September 4th, 2023, Labor Day. Important dates for the October 14th, 2023 election. Wednesday, September 13th, 2023 is the last day to register to vote in person or by mail. Saturday, September 23rd, 2023 is the last day to register to vote online at govote.com. Tuesday, October 10th, 2023 is the last day to request absentee ballots by mail ballot. Early voting is Saturday, September 2023, Monday, October 2nd through Saturday, October 7th, 2023, 8:30 a.m., to 6 o'clock p.m., West Bank Courthouse, 15045 River Road, Hahnville, East Bank Arterbury Building, 14564 River Road, New Sarpy. Friday, October 13th, 2023 is the last day to register to receive voted absentee ballot. Saturday, October 14th, 2023 is Election Day, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Board of Review. The parish will be sitting as a Board of Review September 11th through September 25th, 2023. 2023 Assessment List. Written and oral protest may be received by the Parish Council Office by September 8th, 2023, 4 p.m. September 18th. What did I say? Okay, 18th. Public hearings to consider the proposed 2024 capital and consolidated operating budget. Tuesday, October 31st, 2023 at 9 a.m. Thursday, November 2nd, 2023 at 1 p.m. Monday, November 6th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Now we're moving to special matters to be considered by the council. The St. Charles Parish Council is now sitting as the governing authority of the Sunset Drainage District. Item number 2023-0231, a resolution of the St. Charles Parish Council acting as the governing authority of the Sunset Drainage District, supporting the proposed intergovernmental agreement between the state of Louisiana through the Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority Board and St. Charles Parish for the construction of the Crawford Canal Sunset Pump Station Bar Screen Expansion Project, CPRA, project number BA0270. Mr. Jewell.
Thank you. I think I'm going to have Sam Sholey come up and speak on this. Sam? I can take it too. I guess we were going to.
Hello, Mr. Sholey.
Do you want to take it, Sam, or you?
I don't have an issue taking it.
Okay.
I'm taking it. No, the main purpose that we're come before you tonight is to, it just, with you all being the administrator of the Sunset Drainage District, to publicly state that we wanted to, actively move forward and have you all address it, speak to it. And there's some clarifications as to who owns the bottoms of the canals. We've found that on several projects, and not knowing exactly who the owners are, and not knowing exactly where one jurisdiction jurisdiction starts and ends, we want to come before you with this particular resolution tonight. So I ask for y'all's support, with this particular resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Sholay.
Yeah, and there is an important part of it that I do want to address, that the parish will be the owner of the assets. That's an important issue, and I just want to make sure y'all are aware of that as y'all consider it.
All right. File number 2023-0231 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Is there any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2023-0231. And that motion passes unanimously. Okay, adjournment. A motion and a second is needed to adjourn. I have a motion by Ms. Belloc and a second by Mr. Dufresne. Please cast your votes. That passes unanimously. On behalf of the Parish Council, we wish everyone a happy Labor Day. Have a great evening. We are officially adjourned.